Yo, what in the heck do you people think you're doing out there? Hmm? Hey, what's going on, guys? Blue here. It is, I don't even know the date. What is it, the 8th of August? 2020. And this is Sitrep, whatever it is. I don't even know. 40, I think 43? 43? Maybe 44? I don't know. Usually check that before I start, but I forgot to do that this time. So, sorry about that, guys. So, hey, I'm going to get right into it. I hope everybody's doing good out there. Here, the weather is balmy. I actually went out to the store yesterday. I went out to the big box store. Got some stuff. I need to replace some sinks in the bathroom. One of them cracked out of nowhere. How the heck does a sink crack? I wasn't standing in it or anything crazy, but yep, now it's got like a 6-inch crack from closest to you down toward the bottom of the sink. So that was $350. Plus the silver drain thing in the middle. That doesn't come with it. That actually comes with what the heck? Hey, the rooster's back there. The rooster's back there dipping a toe in the water. She said, hey. Yeah, so the chrome part, the drain part, actually comes with the faucets. It doesn't come with the sink, so I had to buy that separately. But I found some cool ones that they pop up, right? So you push it down, you just push it down and it closes. There's no thing underneath to manipulate, none of that. And then you just push it again and it pops up. The two downsides to that is, one, when it's in the open position, I hear it has a smaller drain, so water and stuff drains out slower. And two, when it's filled up with water, like shaving cream and all that, and the sink's dirty, you have to put your hand inside the sink to push the thing so it pops up the drain. And you have to rinse your hand off. So, I use an electric razor, so I don't care about that. One of the cool things about this one, I'll insert a picture here. You can see it's got that cool little tray for catching like your ring or whatever and hair. So you drop a ring in there, it's not going down the drain, but it's not like a toilet. A sink drain has a snake in the bottom, right? A little gooseneck. So all you have to do is take that off. They're just hand tight. And you pull that elbow out and dump out and get your ring. But anyway, I seen this thing, it was pretty cool. It's like $16 a piece. You got two sinks, so that's the route I'm taking. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. Anyway, so let's get into it. I got my notes here. Medically speaking and cancer speaking, saliva. My saliva is much better than it was. It improves all the time. The only time I really have a dry mouth is at night when I sleep. Again, I'm a mouth breather. So, yeah, that's still there, and I don't know if that's ever going to go away. I'm still not using my CPAP yet. Taste. The weird thing is, when I try before I had the surgery, if you recall, one of the weird symptoms I had with taste was I was getting my taste back, but certain things were like bionic, and tomatoes are one of them, right? Well, that's still kind of the case, but now it like as soon as it touches my tongue, it goes back and it like attacks something right in here. And I think it's maybe the saliva gland on this side. I don't know why. It's like shock and I curl up. That's still happening. Just like putting gas on a toad. Yeah, I did talk about this before. But, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. It's happening less and less, which is awesome news. Pain-wise, most of my pain is gone. I have pain when I do my exercises to loosen up my jaw because I still have lockjaw. So it's getting better. It opens much more when after I stretch it with the machine. Talk about it more in a minute. But I do have pain down in my lower right part of my throat, actually part of my tongue. That part of my lower part of my right tongue was cut away. So that apparently is still not 100%. But to be fair, I just started to be able to move my tongue. I mean, I couldn't even barely lick my lips 30 days ago. So, slowly but surely, things are getting better. So, speaking of the lockjaw, so if you remember on the machine, there's 5 positions. I am actually all the way up to position 4 of 5 right now. So, and the difference between setting 1 and setting 4 means a difference in opening of maybe I'm going to throw it 1/4 of an inch. But, I mean, 1/4 of an inch is a big deal when you got lockjaw. So, that's good news. I'm almost maxed out. I'm at 5 centimeters, whatever that is in inches. It's pretty good. And the problem is I stretch my jaw in the evening when I'm sitting there just watching YouTube, because it takes a while to do. But I eat dinner before that, so I can eat. That's actually a good segue. So eating, I'm doing pretty good. I had, let me see, I had 1/4 of a Wawa sub. If you haven't tried Wawa subs, you're missing out on life. You gotta go check out Wawa subs. All right, that's all I can say about it. But I can eat that. I ate a piece of steak about yogi big. Day before yesterday is pretty good. I can eat maybe the size of your fist of angel hair pasta. So really the limitation right now is my jaw. Right? So one of the downsides of lockjaw is not only can you not open your mouth, but you're not using your muscles. Right? So when I'm chewing on a steak, man, it wears me out. When it gets to the point where and remember, I'm chewing my food up better than I normally would to help with my swallowing. So, I mean, I don't want to get gross or anything, but I mean, it's damn near mush. It's chewed up pretty well. And again, I'm still mostly chewing on the left side. I do chew some on the right. I'm kind of pushing it over there. It's irritating something, which again, I think is my tongue. But yeah, so to try and work on that part, I am starting to chew chewing gum, and I don't want to overdo it. I have, if anybody out there, you know what I'm talking about. If you had a piece of gum in your mouth too long, and excuse me, and then like that night, the next morning you wake up and you think, holy crap, am I getting lockjaw? I don't want to end up with that. I got enough pain, so I've had enough pain in the recent past. So I essentially just chew it until the flavor's gone, maybe a little longer, and I get rid of it. And I do that 3 times a day, just to, again, build up my jaw muscles. Again, I'm used to chewing again. Swallowing. So way in the back of your throat, on both sides, you have, I think it's called the constrictor muscle. I could be wrong. I'll insert the actual name of what the heck it is here, but a large portion of it on my right rear of my throat on the right side was removed. So, as the name implies, if it is constrictor, I'm having a hard time forcing all that food down my esophagus. It is getting better. I actually had one time in the last 3 or 4 days that I had a legitimate swallow. So what I do normally is not a legitimate swallow. It's not. I'm past. I still do just pour water down my throat to rinse down whatever's in my mouth, and that's an effective way and relatively safe to get whatever in my mouth is down. The next kind of level to my swallowing is this thing that I do, and I don't know. I wish I knew what in my mouth or throat is doing it, but it's kind of like a half-ass swallow. It's not a real swallow, but it is what I'm calling a swallow right now, if that makes any sense. So it's not really like it's kind of like having an air bubble behind the food to get it down, to force it down, if that makes any sense, to pressurize it down. But it only gets it like halfway down. It's kind of getting stuck in my esophagus, and then I have to wash it the rest of the way down with water. So that's my best level. I guess you would say my best method of swallowing right now. And then, like I said, one time in the last week or so, I actually doink. I don't know if it was saliva or what, but I actually swallowed it. It felt just like a normal swallow, and I recognized it. I was like, hey, what the heck? I think I just swallowed. So I know that sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly the way it's happening. So we're getting there. I'm relearning how to swallow. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I don't have, even if I had a professional sitting next to me, you know, what do they tell you? Hey, just take the thing. And what thing? You know? As you can hear from my speech, my voice, my pronunciation, I'm still struggling. I mean, I still have air escaping up into my nasal cavity. Somehow it's getting past that flap, right? So, but it doesn't always sound like this. It does. Sometimes it actually sounds almost normal. So we're getting there. It's slow. It's really slow. I still have that thing I do with S's. I'm not doing it now, but when I say S, usually it sounds like lispy. Lispy, if that's the word. I've been having a really rough time with stiff neck. And that's been going on now for a long time, but it was a lower. There's much lower priority with everything else I had going on. I guess I really didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I started going to a massage therapist about 3 weeks ago. I went a couple times, actually about a month ago. I went a month ago and then 3 weeks ago, and then I didn't go back. So right now I'm doing my own massage therapy with a tennis ball against the wall. The problem is this muscle right here is the one that's really involved a lot, and then my shoulder is not. Something's just not right. I've been working on building that up muscle-wise and movement-wise because I don't want to get frozen shoulder, like adhesive capsulitis. If you've never heard of that, look it up. It's bad juju. I actually medevaced out of Bosnia with that. I got flown all the way through Launch 2, all the way back to Walter Reed. Had to manually manipulate my arm. It was just a terrible experience. But I got to go back. Cool. Anyway. And drinking. I can actually... So you know I've been like pouring water down my throat. I'm still doing that for the most part. But I am also applying that kind of mid-grade swallow technique to my water swallowing. And now, or initially, mostly I had my head back and I was kind of just guzzling it like a beer. And now I can swallow just looking straight on like this, and I can actually quasi guzzle. I can dunk, 3, 4, 5 dunks, good dunks. So that's huge. It's getting to feel more like normalcy, which is what I seek. A great one. Just a little bit of normalcy. So that's kind of the big ones, guys. My tori, those bony structures inside, where I had that thing sticking out, and the dentist pulled it out with the tool, that little hook thing. There's another one on the other side, but there's no thing hanging out. It's just like the void that was left when she pulled that bone out, piece of bone or whatever it is. I got another one on this side, so it's almost like I had another bone spur hanging out of this tori that just kind of fell out on its own. Excuse me. And so, oh God, burping up the flavor of that. Ugh. The feed tube food, the ISO source that I take. Man, it's got all the nutrients in it, but it's non-flavored, but it has a flavor. It's like slightly vanilla cardboard or something like that, if you can imagine. It's disgusting. Anyway, that was what I just burped. Gross. What the heck was I saying? I don't know. Couldn't have been important. Anyway. So what's the future look like? What are my goals? I am going to put on mass. Oh, I was like, what the heck is mass? I wrote it. Put on mass. Put on weight. I have to. I've lost a lot of mass. I mean, even if I flex my arm, I look at my thighs. My thighs and my calves were big because I played hockey and I ran most of my life. So, I mean, even since as far as I can remember, I started playing hockey when I was like 4 or 5 years old. As soon as I could stand up. So, I've lost a lot of that. So I need to start eating a lot of protein. And I need to start working out, and I think it's going to start this week. I think I'm at the point now where I can actually start doing some crunches, sit-ups, doing some iron mics and stuff like that to start building up again, building muscle. I want to improve my swallowing capability, so I can get rid of the feed tube and the port. I don't know. Let me show you guys the port. See it? Can you see it? This thing? So it's right here. And you see this. You see the line? Goes up into my neck. Right there. So I'm not using it anymore. That's where they used to put the chemotherapy in. Now I just go and get it flushed with heparin every like 6 to 8 weeks, 6 weeks-ish, just to make sure no blood clots up in there. So I want to get that out of this feed tube rupture. I want to get rid of that. Believe it or not, they just pull that thing out. They put the thing in there, deflate the balloon, pull it right out the hole, and they just put a bandage over it. Yeah, I mean it still leaks and everything, and but over a couple of weeks it just seals up, and that's it. You look like you got shot. You got you got an innie. I was like, what do you mean you don't stitch it up? No, just like pull the thing up and let it go. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I want to get rid of these two guys and put on some mass. Increase my stamina again, and obviously work on swallowing. I work on that all the time. I do tongue exercises. Oh, back to swallowing. I just want to say one more point. I'm actually swallowing my saliva now without challenge. I used to kind of make the motion of it, I guess, of swallowing. I don't know how many times you realize, or if anybody realizes how many times you swallow in an hour, but it's a lot. Now that my saliva is flowing again, yeah, I didn't realize it until now. I have to swallow it when I couldn't for the longest time. So it's really strange to be conscious of that. You know, it's like being conscious of breathing in your heartbeat. It's just something that your motor, what do they call it, motor skills or motor whatever, just does. It happens automatically without you knowing. But then if you lose one of those things and you're trying to get it back, you realize it's not a motor anymore. You actually have to remember, and it's weird when you have to manipulate the parts of your body that make it happen. You actually have to think about it. It sucks. Trust me, it's not good. But that's it, guys. So my goal, the ultimate goal, is to get back to normalcy. That's it. It just so happens that all of us are experiencing this non-normalcy with COVID. I think as more people, build T cells to it, it's just like the annual flu, right? I imagine there's going to be a different strain now of COVID every year, just like the flu and influenza. And you'll have to get well, not have to. There's a lot of people who are resisting. Oddly enough, reports are that people that are resisting or say they're not going to take the COVID, what do they call it? Not inoculation, but you know what I'm saying, right? Are the people that are at the highest risk, blacks and Hispanics. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, there's always a small percentage of the population that is going to have a reaction to any medicine, right? But if it protects the vast majority, 97, 8, 9%, yeah, why wouldn't you want to risk that? As opposed to take the risk of getting the virus itself? Because we can't cure viruses, guys. We can protect against them, we can treat the symptoms of them, but you can't cure it. I mean, you don't cure a cold. You starve a cold and treat a fever. No. You just take over-the-counter stuff to address the symptoms, but you still have the virus. Your body has to work through it. Right? So, anywho, that's all I got, guys. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. You know what? I forgot one thing I want to say. I heard when you hear a lawnmower and trimming devices and all little motors and stuff going on here in Florida, it is no big deal because it's like a jungle here. And there's grass everywhere, and people are trimming the yards and stuff. So I was sitting in the house one day, and I hear it. I know it's close. I figure, okay, it's my neighbor, trimming between the houses or whatever. But then it sounds like it's out front. I'm like, what the heck? I look out, and some dude is cutting my front lawn. I'm like, what? So I go out there. I look, And it's my neighbor 2 doors down, Eddie, is cutting my freaking lawn with his son Sam. So his adult son. So and they had a trimmer out. I mean, they jazzed it up. So if you guys, are watching, hey, I appreciate that, guys. I already told them. I texted them and said, hey, you're the bomb. You are the Los Bombos, the bomb. But yeah, that's so cool. And a lot of my workmates have offered to come by too. I cut the lawn today and did all that. It's like 90. It's 80 something, 85, 87 degrees here. 65% humidity. It felt like 95 at the time when I cut it. I was soaked, but it was great. It was good. I got out there, got my heart beating, got my lungs working, build my stamina, build my mass. So it's a good thing. Get out there and do something. That's why I went to the store yesterday. I'm like, I gotta get out of this freaking house. But plus I had to buy stuff for 2 sinks I gotta put in too. But next time I got to buy one of those oscillating saws. I can't wait to try that thing out. They look awesome. And they got a lot of capability too. So I'm torn between a wireless Ryobi 1, because all my other tools are Ryobi 1. I got a crap load of batteries and all that. So that's like $50 to $60. Or I can buy a cheap for like $35-40 off Amazon. So I don't know. Choices. I got choices. It's America, man. I love choices. I love America. Yeah, that's right. Bye.